You want to know how to dig yourself out of a hole as an investor? Stick around, and I'll tell you how.
Whole lot hotter than the place you're staying in. Panama, it's raining, rain.
On August 5th, 1914, the Panama Canal officially opened for international traffic. After more than a decade of engineering feats, deadly setbacks, and diplomatic maneuvering, the canal created a waterway that linked the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans, a shortcut that slashed sea travel times by sometimes weeks and thousands of miles. Its first crossing, a U.S. cargo ship moving from New York to San Francisco, marked the dawn of a new era in trade, military strategy, and international cooperation. The canal's construction had begun decades earlier, initially under French leadership, but that initial attempt ended in financial disaster. Also, rampant disease and thousands of worker deaths from things like malaria and yellow fever. So when the United States took over in 1904, one of the first things we did was to dramatically improve both the engineering plan, pivoting from a sea-level design to the now iconic lock system, and public health measures, eradicating most, if not all, of the mosquitoes and dramatically reducing disease in the canal zone. The canal's completion not only demonstrated the power of international collaboration and medical innovation, but it also established Panama as a geopolitical crossroads, highlighting the ways that infrastructure can change the course of history well beyond its original economic aims. Here then are 4 lessons for modern investors from the digging of the ditch. First up, let's talk about infrastructure. Let's pay attention to these hidden enablers. The Panama Canal didn't manufacture goods or invent new products, but its impact on global trade was revolutionary. Many of the best investments, then and now, are the ones that are most durable. They're the most durable sources of value because they're built on boring, overlooked infrastructure. Systems, networks, and platforms that enable commerce or communication. In your own portfolio or in your business, don't ignore the pipes, the interior, the logistics, or the foundational technologies that are actually powering new growth. The most lucrative opportunities often come from supporting what everyone else relies on, but just takes for granted. Next up, success demands flexibility and iteration. Yeah, the canal wasn't built according to the original French vision, and it wasn't a straight line project for the Americans either. This episode of the History Lessons podcast is sponsored by Victory Independent Planning. Hey, are you ready to take the stress out of your retirement? At Victory Independent Planning, we put you on the right trajectory with our exclusive VIP retirement glide path. Our smart approach prepares you for what's next by optimizing your sources of savings and income, your medical and healthcare planning, your advanced estate and giving strategies, risk management and investing, and tax planning. Let us help you glide into retirement with confidence. Text Glide Path to 239-567-5477. That's Glide Path, all one word, small letter G, to 239-567-5477 and receive a link to schedule a complimentary consultation. Do it today to start your journey on the VIP retirement glide path, because your future deserves a safe landing. And it wasn't a straight line project for the Americans either. Success, well, that came from a willingness to change course. In this case, literally midstream, changing the design from a sea level canal to one using a lock system, tackling yellow fever through medical innovation, and scaling back or ramping up work when obstacles arose. In markets and in life, the biggest breakthroughs, well, they rarely follow the first plan. Responding to new information, embracing course corrections, and being open to entirely different solutions. That's often what separates success from costly failure. Third, beware that sunk cost fallacy. The French invested billions, at least in today's dollars, before abandoning their failed canal attempt, falling for the sunk cost fallacy. They threw good money after bad, unable to cut their losses early. The more successful American managers learned from this. They restructured operations, killed off ineffective practices, and they pivoted hard when conditions changed. In investing, beware of feeling tied to a bad position or a bad strategy simply because you've already become too invested. Sometimes the wisest decision is to reroute when evidence demands it. Finally, global change comes with political, not just economic risk. Yeah, the canal's opening happened to coincide almost exactly with the outbreak of World War I, reminding everyone that breakthroughs can be overshadowed. And they can be overshadowed by political and geopolitical shocks. The canal's operation and control would dominate diplomacy for over a century. Investors and business leaders, too, they must remember innovation and big bets must be stress tested against not just market cycles, but the unpredictable tides of regulation, war, and international policy. Here's a final thought. The Panama Canal was a literal breakthrough, turning an impossible journey into a well-traveled path between the seas, bridging oceans, economies, and decades of ambition. For today's investor, it's a reminder that transformational opportunities are very often messy, sometimes slow, and often fraught with unexpected twists and turns.